Okay, so next we come to gauge design. So what are the common types of gauges? Plug gauges, pin gauges, ring gauges, snap gauges, flush pin gauges, and receiving gauges. So simplest is plug gauge, which is a go and no go. So usually go gauge is bigger. And then we have pin type gauges to check small bores. So here the handle is bigger than the dimension being checked. So the no-go gauge, so we can identify the go gauge or no-go end from the picture. So large diameter will be, bigger one will be go gauge, small will be no-go gauge, because according to Taylor's principle, the go gauge should check the complete length, whereas no-go gauge will always be smaller. So this itself is a violation of Taylor's principle because it checks several diameters simultaneously. So any place the diameter is small, it will not enter. So it's a violation of Taylor's principle. Similarly, pin gauges also a violation of Taylor's principle for no-go gauge. The ring gauges are used to check shafts. So go gauge will be of larger length. No-go gauge, of course, sometimes no-go gauges are marked using a red line. So previous figure also you can see a red line. So this shows that this is the no-go side. Here, of course, you can't identify from the length. So the red colored line over it indicates that it is a no-go gauge. The snap gauges to check diameter. Adjustable snap gauges. So snap gauges, these sizes are such that one is go, one is no go. Okay, adjustable snap gauges, we can adjust. So we have a pair of adjustable angles. One can be adjusted to go and the other to no go. So first one it should go, second one it should not go. So shaft you can simultaneously check for go and no go by just inserting it into this gap. So this is an adjustable snap gauge. Then to check depth, we have a flush pin gauge. So this is a flush pin gauge. So here a pin is there, which goes into the depth, contacts the bottom surface. And if the depth is correct, the pin other end should be between these two. At the most, it can be flush with these two surfaces. So we have a top surface and a bottom surface. So if the pin goes deeper, that means the depth is more. If the pin does not reach the first step, then depth is less. So you can check depths using a flush pin gauge like this. So this dimension is checked, the depth of the bore. Then there are receiving gauges, which actually is a violation of Taylor's principle because it checks several dimensions at a time. For example, a key for a shaft, you want to check a key. So you want to check the shape of the circle, the width, everything together. So it is not so critical a part, but it should be able to assemble in the slot of the shaft. So that can be verified by using this sort of a receiver gauge. So next is the gauge tolerance. So generally, so any manufacturer requires a tolerance. So that is our fundamental principle. We cannot make any dimension, any part to any exact dimension. If you say I want a part made to 1.033 mm exactly, that is not possible. So it always has to be 1.033 plus or minus some value, plus or minus maybe 0.000001, but still something has to be there. So to make the gauge, when you design the gauge, we have to provide a tolerance on the gauge. So the general practice is 10% of the product tolerance is given as gauge tolerance. So of course, we would like to reduce the tolerance, but then cost of the gauge will go up. So a balance is the standard practice is 10% of the product tolerance is made the gauge tolerance. Then gauges, one of the problems with gauges is that they wear out. So what do we do to prevent wear? So we cannot prevent wear. We can do prevent wear, try to prevent wear by hardening it. So that's why gauges are generally very hard. We quench them and then finish by grinding or lapping. So wear relevance. So another method is to provide a wear relevance. So that means the gauge is made slightly bigger. The go gauge, go plug gauge, it will be made slightly bigger so that during use it will slightly come down. So that amount is called wear allowance. So that is usually taken as 5% of product tolerance. So these are the standard values. Actually, this is not same constant throughout the range. For example, for small sizes and for large sizes, we can even reduce this tolerance slightly. This is an approximate value. So there are tables in the standards which give the values for different sizes depending on the feasibility of manufacture. So some sizes, the tolerances, if you give very low, they are not manufacturable, so you may have to increase. And for some, it can be reduced. So this 10%, 5% is an approximate guideline. So tolerances for plug gauges. So a plug gauge is used to check an inner diameter. So suppose this is the minimum ID and this is the maximum ID for the hole. The hole, as per the tolerance specified in the design, the maximum size of the hole is this and minimum size of the hole is this. That means the hole should be at least bigger than this, but should not exceed this size. So that is the specification given by the design. So now you have made a plug gauge and you want to check whether the dimensions are between these two limits. So what should be the size of the plug gauge? So the go gauge should check that it is at least this much. So go gauge should be, ideally it should be exactly this size, but we cannot make it to exact size, so we have to give a tolerance. So go gauge checks this dimension and no go gauge checks that it is not exceeding the biggest size. So the go gauge size, again we have different systems. The simplest system of tolerance is the unilateral system. So here the go gauge is made. So ideally it should be exactly this, but we need a tolerance. So that side tolerance is given inside of the product tolerance zone. So this is the product tolerance zone. That means the product can have a size between these two lines, these two limits, between the minimum ID and maximum ID. So the gauge tolerance is made inside the product tolerance. So the go gauge can have a size from this minimum ID to this plus tolerance. So what is the tolerance? So that is 10% of the product tolerance. So 10% of this is this minus this divided by 10 or into 10% of that. Similarly, no-go gauge is made slightly smaller. So what is the problem if you make the go gauge of this size? So it will show as acceptable only if the size of the hole is bigger than this. That means go gauge should go. So suppose you have made the go gauge to the top line and the hole is somewhere here. It is bigger than this size. So the hole is actually as per the tolerance. It is within this size, but because the go gauge has been made slightly bigger, the go gauge will not enter and there will be a failure, a rejection. So that is the problem with gauge tolerance. So this is the gauge tolerance. So this is one system. So this is a little unfair on suppliers. That was the complaint. So what we are doing is, even though the drawing says tolerance between these two limits, we are actually giving a tolerance worst between these two. So we are reducing around 20%, 10% this side and 10% of the tolerance available to the supplier has been reduced. So this used to create complaints from suppliers. So the customer will reject. So the suppliers will object. So this is not correct. It is as per drawing. It should be accepted, they will say. So In order to reduce such complaints, they modified this tolerance system. So, first system is unilateral with modified tolerance for the no-go gauge. So, here we give a slight allowance for no-go gauge because go gauge is important, because if go gauge does not go, it can create problems in assembly. So that we will not disturb. But the no-go gauge will slightly shift to a plus minus tolerance. Instead of only to one side, unilateral, it will be a bilateral tolerance. So the unilateral modified is a unilateral tolerance for the go gauge and a bilateral tolerance for the no-go gauge. And then for non-critical products, we can think of giving some leeway for the go gauge also. So give a bilateral tolerance for both go and no-go gauges. So here, so there is a danger that it will accept product which is here, which is beyond the specification, and which is here, which is not within the specification. So both is, this is a little risky. So just like that, we have learned in measurement uncertainty how the uncertainty is considered when taking decisions on acceptance or rejection. So of course, that is the concept of uncertainty came much later, whereas these gauging principles were the long back. So initially, before even most measuring instruments were made, gauging principles were available. So bilateral tolerance may be used for non-critical product. That is the idea. Then unilateral with wear allowance. So here we are not given any wear allowance. So where will we give a wear allowance? So the no-go gauge does not enter the part fully, whereas the go gauge has to repeatedly enter the part fully. So there is likely to be more wear on the go gauge. So that is why we need to give a wear allowance on the go gauge. So this amount, how much it should be shifted. So the tolerance position is shifted by an amount equal to 5% of the product tolerance. What is the product tolerance? Maximum ID to minimum ID. So 5% of that is shifted, and this is the position of the gauge tolerance zone. So this is unilateral with wear allowance. So okay, mostly for problems. Okay, the next problem I think is of this type, unilateral with wear allowance. So this is the wear allowance. Okay. Okay, it is simple. You have to just understand the logic. So first of all, you should know what is a tolerance. Then where the position go no go comes, and then what tolerance system is being adopted. So unilateral modified, bilateral, or unilateral with wear allowance. Which system is being adopted for the gauge manufacture? Accordingly, the position of the gauge tolerances has to be changed. So now similarly for ring gauge also, it is just the opposite. So ring gauge is used to check a shaft. So what is the maximum OD allowable for the shaft? That is this dimension, and this is the minimum OD for the shaft. Okay, so size increases as we go up. So now the go gauge will check whether the shaft is at least smaller than this, and no go gauge will check that it is not beyond smaller than this. So for unilateral wear allowance, the go gauge tolerance, here also the tolerance is into the product tolerance. So the go gauge dimension will be fixed inside the product tolerance. So maximum OD minus the gauge tolerance, that is 10%. Similarly, no go, minimum OD plus the gauge tolerance. So this is the unilateral tolerance system. Then unilateral modified. So go gauge position remains same, but no go is shifted to bilateral. Same thing. So only now it has to be for the minimum OD. So depending on whether it's a ring gauge or a plug gauge, the positions have to be changed. So for the go gauge, it will be unilateral. Whereas for no go gauge only, you are giving this allowance. And for bilateral, both are bilateral tolerance. And then unilateral with wear allowance. So the wear allowance is given on no go on go gauge only. So the go gauge is shifted slightly down. So this is the wear allowance. No go gauge, there is no wear allowance. Now we'll do a small problem. Design a plug gauge for measuring the bore 32H7. Use unilateral tolerance with wear allowance. Okay, so this is how usually we specify dimensions on the drawing. So what do you mean by 32H7? So that you have to see tables. So there is an international standard for this tolerances of holes. So 32H7 from tables we have to get the dimension. So 32H7 means the dimension can be from 32.00 to 32.025. So H stands for the tolerance starting from the basic size. So basic size is 32. The 7 stands for the tolerance zone width. Okay, so there are different grades of tolerances. So IT 1, 2, so many 10 or 12 or 14 are there. So they correspond to different tolerance sizes. So 7 stands for IT7, and that is given by another formula. So I equal to 0.45 d raised to 1 by 3 cube root of d plus 0.001 d. This is equal to 1.46. And H7 corresponds to 7, IT7 corresponds to 16i. So that way you can calculate approximate, but in the table it is rounded off. 23.3 is the calculated tolerance, which is rounded off to 25 in the standard tables, because this covers a range. In the tables, it is not for exactly 32, but for 30 to 40, something like that. So now we can fix the go gauge dimension. So go gauge size is, so what is our width of the tolerance zone? 00 to 025. So the minimum size of the bore is 32.00, maximum size is 32.025. So the go gauge should check the minimum size, that is 32.00. So we have to give a wear allowance, so that is 0.025 to 5 by 100, 5% of this. So 10% is 0.0025, 5% means half of that, 0.00125. So the go gauge dimension should be 32.00125, and then the tolerance. Tolerance is 10% of this, 0.0025, and that is unilateral, so it is plus 0.0025. So this is the size of the go gauge. And then size of the no-go gauge will be, so no-go dimension is the biggest size, it should not exceed the biggest size, 32.025. So the no-go gauge is made slightly smaller, 32.025 minus 0.0025. Okay. So we have to make a design. So this is the final design. So the go gauge dimension is 32.00125 to 32.00375. No-go gauge is 32.025 to 32.0225. So these are the two limits which are calculated from the previous sizes. Okay, I think that is how you have to fill the full size. The one problem is that it's like gauge design. So you may get either plug gauge or ring gauge. So accordingly, you have to change the position of the tolerance zone. Okay. So any doubt on this? Okay. So there are a lot of other concepts which you should be aware. Then only you can understand this So what is the tolerance? What is Z7? So many things are there which you should have studied. So we may have to go and revise. So please see some, okay, if you want about fits and tolerances, please see some videos. I think I have put a link in this lab class also about a video on limits and fits. So we have an experiment on limits and fits. So please go through that if you have not understood that what is the concept of fits, allowances, tolerances, etc. Okay, so this is how we design a gauge you design a plug gauge. So similarly, okay, this is an example, okay, exercise, a homework problem. What should be the dimensions of a ring gauge to check a shaft 60 P7? So H means it stands from 0, starts from the basic size. P means it will be different. So use unilateral tolerance